action. Okay, hello, Mr. Lugo. My name is Rachel, and I'll be your occupational therapist. Your doctors referred me to you after your rotator cuff surgery about 8 weeks ago, and we're going to help do some exercises to get your strength and range of motion back in your shoulder. Does that sound good to you?
Are you legitimate and not a quack?
I hope so, or at least by the time I graduate, I will be. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure your range of motion just to see how far you can move your shoulder. And the first one that we're going to measure is called shoulder flexion, and you're just going to raise your arm straight in front of you like that. And I'm going to use this thing called a goniometer. It's a tool we use for measuring your range of motion, and I'll see how many degrees you can move your shoulder. So if you can, go ahead and move your shoulders straight up. Hold it there. All right, so he's measuring at about 140 degrees, but we're gonna, for the sake of the assignment, it says 125, so we're just gonna move it down just a hair. Keep this in line with your body. Put that here, in the middle of your arm. Okay, you can put your arm down now so you don't get tired. So, about 125, I don't know if you could see that on the camera, 125 degrees. He had a little bit more than that. Okay, the next one we're gonna do is called shoulder abduction, and that's when you move your arm straight out to the side. I'm not standing in a very good position. You hold it straight out to the side like that. So can you go ahead and do that for me? I'm gonna measure. So he has about 90 degrees. Is that as high as you can go? If you go, there you go. So right now he's at 110 degrees. For the sake of the assignment, it actually says 110 degrees. So that looked, oop, I can't hold it there. That looked like that. So he actually has had a rotator cuff repair too, so it's kind of a little more realistic. All right, the next one we're going to do is called external rotation. So that's when you rotate your arms out, your shoulder does that. So if you can hold your arm like this, and I'm going to put the goniometer here, and then I want you to go ahead and pivot your arm like this. Kind of keep your elbow in the same spot. All right, and he's right at about 50. For the sake of this assignment, we want 30, so can you go ahead and put it back like this, how you had it? And I'll just show you what 30 looks like. So go ahead and tilt it up a little bit more. There we go. So that would be 30. And that one would definitely be not in the functional range. He needs at least 45 for that one. And then for internal rotation, you're going to hold your arm the same way. And this time I want you to rotate it down without moving your shoulder if you can. All right, and he's reading at about 40. For the sake of the assignment, you want 60. He might not be able to get that far. Let's see. Can you go as far as you can make it go? You can get to 60, that's good, but if you can't, let's make sure that's there. He's about 55. He can't quite get to 60, but I can show you what 60 would look more like that. And then finally, we're gonna do elbow flexion. So hold your arm straight at your side with your palms facing forward. Just your one palm. And then what you're going to do, I got to make sure that I'm not messing this one up. Yeah, I am messing this one up is what I'm doing. Because I've got to have this like that. Had to think through that for a second. Okay, now what you're going to do, you're going to bend your elbow up as far as you can make Okay, go. All right, you can relax. So he's got about 140 degrees of elbow flexion, which for the sake of the assignment is exactly what you wanted him to have. Okay, so those are the ranges of motion. Now we're going to measure your muscle strength. To make this easier, you can sit in the chair. Okay, so the first one we'll measure is shoulder flexion. That was the first range of motion that we measured. Can you go ahead and hold your arm out at 90 degrees for me? All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stabilize at your shoulder and I'm gonna say, don't let me push you down. And I'm gonna push down here and you're just gonna hold against me, okay? So don't let me push you down. Good. So that is shoulder flexion. He would have 3+, my phone keeps trying to go to sleep. He has 3+, which is fair plus. He has full range of motion against gravity, which actually, if we look at the case study, he did not, because you have in the case study that he only has 125 degrees, which is not full range of motion. But if he did have the 3+ strength, like you have in the case study, that would mean that he would have full range of motion against gravity with slight resistance. I didn't put full resistance because I could feel his arm kind of going down when I was pushing on it. So for abduction, we're going to do kind of the same thing. I'm going to get you to move your arm out, hold it at the side about 90 degrees. I'm going to say, don't let me push you down, and you just try to hold your arm where it is, okay? Don't let me push you down. Good. So same thing for that one. He has about 3+ muscle strength. That's the word I'm looking for. 3+ muscle strength because he has that full range of motion against gravity. He's going against gravity in that position. And I was only able to apply slight resistance before he kind of started to wobble a little bit. All right, so the next one is external rotation, which we're going to do against gravity. So if you remember how I had you holding your arm like this,